Okay, guys, it's been about 10 minutes since the last video. Like I said, it's not that hard. It's just intimidating because it's such a big piece of meat. Okay, I still got meat on here. I'll be scraping this off and this off for hamburger meat. I just wanted to show you what it looks like when the big pieces are off. This is the last piece that wraps around it. I still need to go back and get the silla, whatever you call that, the shiny stuff off, and then I'll cut it long ways. That's good steak. These pieces here were off the very top when I did them. Those are hamburger. A lot of people just chunk anything left over into hamburger. I would not recommend that, especially if you're going to have guests over that have never had it, because it makes the meat taste gamey, and it's just not necessary. All this is the fat and the sinew and all that I've cut off of it. That'll all be ground up and fed to the chickens and the chicks. The chicks love it, and it keeps them from pecking on each other. This piece here, you'd say, oh, that's a big old piece of meat, and it is. It was along the bone right here at the bottom where that tendon was, but that'll be hamburger just because there's not, it'd be make steaks, but they wouldn't be that great of steaks. And if you're like my family, we go do a lot of hamburger. And so I prefer to have better hamburger than just have junk hamburger. These are the big pieces I got off. There's one, all these are full, they're all meat. There's no bones left in any of this. Here's another one. That's all meat. And then here's the top slab. These are all meat. This one, and this one will all be cut up for steaks. More than likely, I'm going to trim this one, trim this flap off of it. And the bottom, with my hands on, I'll get that shiny stuff off, and that'll be wrapped up for a roast. Alright, but that's what a deer quarter looks like, and it's not scary. You just have to do it. Next step will be cutting it up, and I'll put it in Ziploc bags. I'll put my hamburger meat in one, and I'll freeze it because I do my hamburger once a year. I'll go somewhere, and they usually charge me 25 cents to grind up all my meat, and I bring my own fat, pay to bring my own fat. So I'll grind it off one time and package it. And then my steaks I'll put in a gallon bag and put in the refrigerator. And my roast I'll put in that same bag. And I don't have any backstrap right now, but it would go in a separate bag. You always want to keep your backstrap separate because that's the good stuff. That's what you want to have for treats, for when somebody comes over or a good occasion. But then I'll show you how to wrap it. I do it with the, I can show you something else. I'll show you how mine wrap. I do it with wax paper and paper. This is some chicken I got on sale and rewrapped it. And I would say that when you freeze meat, you lose 10% of the flavor immediately. That's with any meat. But you can't really, it's not much. But that wrapping it like that will keep this meat just like the day it was wrapped for about a year or more. We've eaten some 2-year-old meat before, and you could tell it had a little bit of age on it, but it wasn't bad. Well, all right, guys. Well, give me a thumbs up if you like this series and if you want me to keep going. And I'll try to get more detail when my son's here so he can hold the camera for me and show you how I cut along them. But if this isn't something you'll like, then thumbs it down, and I'll know. Stick with the rabbits. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.